inside of the Coachmen Freelander 32-footer with bunks. I'm going to show you the cockpit a little bit here. This is all built on a Ford. It's going to be a 450 chassis with the Triton V10 engine. We have upgraded these to the electric mirrors, so your on and off switch is for heated mirrors. You only need that on for the heat. And then of course the left and right to adjust your mirrors. Lights, everything else is standard. It does have cruise control. However, these are very heavy units, so cruise control will work pretty well if you're on level ground and it's not real windy. But if you're in windy conditions or hilly mountainous conditions, it's probably not going to work very well. On this, there is a tow haul button right here on the end. So when you push this button in, you'll have a light that lights up that says tow haul. What that is, you get into the mountainous areas. As you go up the hill at about 40 to 45, this is going to slow down and it's going to shift down in one gear. When it does that, push this tow haul button in, and that'll keep it from trying to shift up and down while you're going up the hills. Leave it in that position so that when you're coming back down the hill, you won't have to brake. If you're still going a little faster than you want to go coming down the hill, just tap the brakes twice and that'll shift down again for you. You just don't want to use those brakes excessively coming down the hill and get those hot. Everything else, electric doors, electric windows. On this particular one, anytime you put this in reverse, your camera, this is your backup camera and your radio, your camera's going to come on. If you want to have that on when you're traveling down the road, this button here will give you the menu. Push that button there, and then down here will be next, and then you can just push the camera button to see the camera. And we'll show you that when you come in to pick up the coach as well. Everything else up here is pretty standard. There's a couple of outlets for 12 volt for charging phones and such. One warning on that is that the dash, these outlets are hooked up to the starting battery. So if you do happen to run those down overnight, it could run your battery down. So don't plug anything that's very big in. Maybe a phone is okay, but don't try to plug in tablets and computers to these overnight just because you might run your battery down. We include a level in here so that when you park, you'll know that if that bubble's touching that black circle, you're okay. You just have to be level for the fridge. Again, sort of the rule of thumb is 15 minutes. If you're going to park, make sure that you get level or turn the fridge off, which you really don't want to do. The fridge will run continuously. You don't have to turn it on and off, and we'll get to that in just a second. Up here on top, this piece here fits in this hole to be a bed. So you have basically a queen bed up top. You're going to have a privacy curtain. This privacy curtain will Velcro across here. Just blocks this area off for privacy. All of our units have an entertainment system up front here with them. TV or DVDs here. This TV, however, does not work when the key is on. So when the key's on, because that's in the view of the driver, by law that has to be disabled with the key on. You're going to have a couple of pages of reminders, some playing cards, fly swatter, a few things like that up here. This is our dream dinette, and so with this, there's a little handle under here, this latch. You just turn this latch to the side and push this down. These 4 cushions lay flat, so this comes all the way down to here. 4 cushions will lay flat to make the bed when you're done. You're going to lift this back up and latch it shut. The sofa here, you're just going to lift this up and fold it flat to be the bed. And all of the seating areas have seat belts here, as well as the dinette, and of course the 2 seats up front. This is your control panel, so anything that says Command Central, anything you need to do with the unit is right here. So your water pump and your water heater is right here. Anytime you want to use your water, these are the switches. So the water pump, the only time you wouldn't use that is if you're using your hose hooked up to pressurized water. But anytime you want to use your onboard water, you use this pump. And the water heater takes about 15 minutes to get hot. Anytime you're using sink, toilet, shower, any water, that'll be your water. There's 2 buttons for slides. This back button is for the front slide, and it just says in and out. Just press out, and this will slide out. Just hold down the button until the slide gets all the way out to the wall. One thing to remember about this area in the kitchen is anything that you had riding here on the counter is going to fall down there when you're driving. And then when you go to slide this out, it's going to tear that trim off. We don't want that to happen. So just don't have anything in this area when you're driving. Pick everything up there. The rest of the control panel, we'll get to the back slide, in and out. You just press out, and that's going to move the slide out for your bunks and your wardrobe in the bedroom, which we're going to get to here in just a second. But once again, you're just going to hold down the out button until it gets all the way out. So it only takes a matter of seconds to get the RV set up for camp. So even if you need to go do something, move, it's no big deal to slide those in and take off. The next button on the top of the control panel is for your generator. Your generator is for electricity. In the RV, you don't need electricity for very many things. Your air conditioner needs electricity, your microwave needs electricity, and your outlets and TVs. So if you're going to plug something into outlet or watch TV, air conditioner and microwave is the only other thing. And it's recommended that you don't run the air conditioner and the microwave at the same time. But to start the generator, you just hold down this start button and hold it down until your generator starts. Let it run for a minute or so, and then you have power. The easiest way to tell if your electricity is working, whether you're running the generator or plugged in at a campground, is to look at your microwave and see if you have any lights. That's the easiest way to tell. Then you know your electricity is working. So you just simply start and stop that right at the switch here. There's an hour meter to keep track of the hours used on the generator. And then this is all your gauges right here. So you have the little buttons and the lights. So LPG stands for liquid propane gas, which is your propane that you use for your cooktop, your water heater, your fridge, your furnace. So push the button, it'll let you know whether it's empty or full. Your battery, whether it's empty or full, your fresh water, your black water, and your gray water. And this unit has an auxiliary button, but there is no auxiliary. So these will be full and empty as you're using them. You can keep track of the levels of what you have on board. So that's your control center. Let's go back over to the kitchen here. Let me show you how the stove works. This stove has 3 burners, of course. You just turn one on, and then you turn this spark button to light, and then just turn it back off. This is a gas stove, so you just want to make sure those buttons are off. If you smell gas or something, just make sure that nobody's turned those on or bumped them. The oven does not start with the spark. So with the oven, you have to turn this over to pilot, hold this in, and while you're holding it in, you have to reach back. It's about 2/3 of the way back. There's a little tube, little finger sticking down that you'll see. That's the thermocouple back there. So hold this in and light it with a lighter or a match. While you're holding it, it takes forever. You think it's not going to work, it's not going to work, this isn't working. Finally it lights. So just know that that takes a long time to light. Then when the pilot is on, you can let go and turn this up to the temperature you want. Turn it back either to pilot or to off. Recommend shutting that off if you're going to travel. It's not a good idea to leave the pilot lights on. Microwave, just like home, just going to have the buttons on there. Your refrigerator has a on and an off button, and it has a check light. We use this just in the auto mode. This is going to be gas mode if you plus that out, but if you have it in auto, and we recommend just leaving it in on auto, because 2 things. You have the light to show you that it's working, but it'll switch from gas to electric whenever it can. So if this check light comes on, somehow this fridge went out. Turn it off, turn it back on, and it'll relight. 30 to 60 seconds later, if it can't relight, that check light will come on. So you're not likely to see the check light. It's a good thing to check to keep an eye on, because you don't want it to be 8 or 10 hours after it fails that you figure out that it's not working. Every minute that you keep the fridge open in the summer takes about an hour to catch back up. The fridge works identical to your fridge at home, but you're out in 100-degree weather, it's going to be struggling a little hard to keep everything cold. And if you fill it, cram it completely full of food when you first get warm food, it's going to take 4 or 5 hours to catch up. So just be aware of it. Don't hold the door open while you're getting food out, and it'll work just fine for you. Back here, we have the new entertainment center here on the wall for you with the TV and the stereo that's right here beside your bunks. And we've also upgraded the bunk system. With our new bunks, we've added another dinette, so that because a lot of people that rent this unit do have a lot of people in their group. Now you have another dinette back here. These legs simply lift out of the floor and lay down, and this table lays right down here, and these 4 cushions make a bed just like the front dinette does. There is a bunk above with these latches that you just simply unlatch, let this bunk down, and you have another bunk up here with another window up above, and they're both operational windows. We do not recommend that you travel with this bunk in the up position. It can wiggle loose and come down, and you certainly wouldn't want that, and especially if somebody was sitting there. So we recommend this to be in the down position when you travel, just like this. And then if you want this to be in the up position to use this dinette, simply, put it up and lock the latches. Be careful of these latches, so when you're unlatching it, when you unlatch this to put it down, just make sure this latches all the way in so it's not out here scraping up the wall. And then just latch this if you need the dinette. If not, you can just leave these down as both bunks. The bathroom is right here. We've upgraded the bathroom to a nice shower door. You're going to find a bucket of cleaning supplies and a trash can in the shower. The toilet has a little pedal. If you push down on that pedal part way, it will add water to the bowl. If you push down all the way, it will flush. Underneath of the sink in the counter, you're going to find toilet paper and a bag of chemical. Like we said when we walked around the outside, after you've dumped your tanks, take one of the pouches out of the bag and put it in the toilet and just flush it down, and that'll help it break up and keep it from smelling. All the units have a digital thermostat. This is the control, so you'll push this button once, it'll come up to fan. You want to leave the fan on auto. Press it once more for cool, which is your air conditioning. Set temperature up and down. Press it once more for furnace. Set your temperature up and down. This last one is a heat pump, which is associated with the air conditioner, which you won't want to use, so just skip past that and hit off. It does take that just a few seconds to cycle on and cycle off, so you always want to make sure that air conditioning is turned off before you turn off the generator. So you don't want to start and stop that generator under a load. There's a pocket door here to close the master bedroom off from the front. Master bedroom is all upgraded to pillow top mattresses. The back window is an emergency exit. So if for some reason you cannot get out the front, those 2 red latches on the window will allow it to swing out and you can exit out the back. You do have air vents on the top, just vents that can open. Do not drive with those vents open. They're plastic vents that start to rattle and then fly off. So leave those closed when you drive. In the bedroom, we have a large wardrobe. This wardrobe and the bunks both slide in. So the one thing to be aware of with this area is between the wardrobe and the bed, you want to make sure that you don't have bags or shoes or toys down in there, because when you slide that wardrobe in, it slides up against the bottom of the bed and it'll crush the bed, and that's a pain to rebuild. We don't want to have that happen. So just be careful there's nothing in between there. And that's the interior of our 32-foot bunk. Have a great day.